guys, welcome back to Grace's room. So today I'm going to be doing another story time because you guys seem to be enjoying my other ones. So today I thought that it'd be funny to talk about my most embarrassing moments. Honestly, I pretty much embarrass myself every single day, so it wasn't that hard to actually think of a list of my most embarrassing moments. Okay, let's start. So this first one, I think I've already mentioned in a Q&A before because someone actually asked me what my most embarrassing moment was. And it is when I had a nose explosion. So I remember it was like maybe when I was in grade 5 at school, and my friends told me something really funny. And I think I was actually a little bit sick that day, had a bit of a runny nose. And I remember I started laughing so hard, and I don't know, I made this really weird, I did this really weird thing. I was like, and my nose just went, and there was no tissues near me. All my friends were like, ew, that's so gross. And I was so embarrassed. I had to run and get a tissue, and I hated that. So my next embarrassing moment was when I was at Videocon this year, and I just came back from the bathroom and I saw this YouTuber that I really like. I think he's really funny. So obviously I went up to him and asked if we could get a picture. And as my mum was getting ready to take the photo, she's like, Grace, your zip's undone. I was actually wearing jeans that day, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then the guy I took the photo with, he started laughing. He's like, I'm going to remember you as the girl who didn't have her zip up. And I was like, oh my goodness, no. This moment happened a couple of years ago in Hawaii. I actually remember I was quite young, and we just came off the bus. We went to Wet n Wild, and there was a lot of people around, and I saw this woman, and I think she looked a little bit like my mum because she kind of had the same color hair and hairstyle and that. So me being a little girl I skipped up to her and I just held her hand, and I think it was 5 seconds later she realized and I realized. We kind of just both looked at each other like, huh? That was not my mum. So as soon as she kind of let go of my hand and walked off, who is this crazy girl? I was kind of looking around for my mum, and then she just taps on my shoulder like, Grace, I'm right here. And I was like, I didn't really get what was happening because I was just so young, but it was quite embarrassing. This next moment happened on my first year of school. I was only 5 years old, and we had this fundraiser, and we had to have crazy hair day. And basically I thought I'd do something really cool. My dad actually suggested it, and my hair was all the way up like that. And we had to use so much hairspray, and we had pink colors in my hair, and I think it looked pretty cool. And I thought, probably not gonna be the craziest, everyone's gonna have really wacky hair and stuff. And I went into school that day, and everyone was staring at me, had parents and stuff whispering to each other oh my goodness and that. And I was so embarrassed, what? And I went into school, and nearly everyone just had natural kind of hair, some had colors in it and that, but mine was crazy. And I remember I actually started crying because I was so embarrassed, because I thought people was making fun of me, my hair. But in the end, I actually found out that they really liked my hair and they thought it was really cool, but I was young, so I didn't understand what they meant. And I actually remember, we were watching a movie that day. It was Finding Nemo, and I think I had at least 3 people tell me to move over because my hair was in the way, and I actually had to end up sitting at the back, so that was a bit embarrassing. So last year we were at a shopping centre that I know quite well, and for the first time my parents actually let me shop around by myself with some friends, and my mum offered me money, and I'm like, no, it's fine, I've got enough, definitely have enough. And I remember I went to this clothing store, my friends were waiting for me outside, so okay, I've got to read really quick. So I think I chose 2 outfits, and there was quite a long line. I remember I was waiting in the line, it finally came to my turn, and the lady was $65. I'm like, no problem. So getting my money out, and I was counting on my money, I've got to hurry because there's lots of people behind me. And then I realized I didn't have enough money. I was $2 short. So I was so embarrassed because all these people were hurry up. Well, they didn't say that, but I know they're probably thinking that. And the lady almost just kind of looked okay, you've got to speed this up now. But it was just so embarrassing. I'm like, okay, I just wasted your time. I'm not going to buy these in the end. And my friends are come on, Grace. So I was just so embarrassed because there were so many people waiting behind me and that. And I just didn't have enough money in the end. And it was quite upsetting. So this next moment actually happened today. So I was in class, and the whole class was kind of being really noisy. My teacher wasn't ready yet. So I actually have an Apple Watch, some of you may know, and they introduced this new walkie-talkie app. It's basically, you can kind of just press down and talk to to like people, and it's like really quick, so you don't have to call them and that. And it's actually like good and easy, and like, yeah. So basically I thought it'd be funny just talk to like my dad or something and just say hi. And so I finished sending my message, and coincidentally the teacher just said, okay everyone, settle down now. And my dad had to reply. He's like, hey, what's up? But the thing was, I actually had it on full volume, so the whole class just turned around and looked at me like, what was that? And my teacher, luckily she was a nice teacher actually, my teacher like looked at me and she's like, what was that? I'm like, oh, someone just sent a message. And I was so embarrassed, and like my friend never let it go for the whole day. So around 2 years ago, I was on a plane on my way to LA, and I actually get motion sickness, so if I don't have like this tablet, I'll most likely throw up on the plane. And I remember I actually slept for so long on the plane, and about like 13 hours into the flight, 'cause it takes like 15 hours to get there, I woke up and I started to feel really sick, and I just knew I was obviously going to throw up, so I had like my little bag and I was silently trying to do it because I didn't want to like disturb anyone. And my brother realized what was happening, and he just calls out like so everyone could hear, hey mom, is Grace throwing up? And my mom's like, shh. But the thing was though, everyone was eating breakfast at the time, so it just made the situation worse. So my mum was very embarrassed, and I was quite embarrassed because I think maybe one person probably turned around, and I felt so bad for them because I was just trying to eat their breakfast, and it was quite embarrassing. So some of you may remember from my Chicago vlog, I actually went rollerblading, and I remember I had like my helmet on, my rollerblades and all of that, and it was actually at this track at some park, and there were some girls around like my age there, and they were like pretty good, and I was only like a beginner at the time. So I was just happily skating along, and like these girls just kind of skate past me, and I thought, oh okay, like I'm good too. So I was just trying to be all graceful in that, and I fall flat on my face. I actually grazed my knee, I remember, and I think they kind of just looked at me and like, oh, leave her then. And so many people kind of like, oh, you're okay and stuff. I'm like, I'm fine, just leave me alone, because I was so embarrassed, like. So last year in school, I did this presentation with a boy, and it was about Aboriginal culture, and we showed this video about like Aboriginal and that, and I remember that the boy actually chose it, and I didn't really think to check it. I thought it'd be okay. So when we were presenting it to the class, we played the video, and all of a sudden it had like this curse word in it. I thought it'd be appropriate, but it said like this curse word, and the whole class just went silent and like giggling and that, and my teacher just looked at me, and like I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to crawl under a rock right now. I was so embarrassed. So this last embarrassing moment happened 2 years ago, again at school. I remember it was like one of my friend's birthday, and all like the girls kind of went around, like, because you gave out like lollies when it was your birthday at school, and then went around to like these other classes. I didn't want to come with them because me being the little goody two-shoes I was, I didn't really want to get in trouble for going in the big group and that. So I was just eating my lunch by myself on like my table, like all by myself. And these two, I'll say kind of cool boys at the moment in my class actually come up to me, and they're like, oh, so we're all your friends. And I thought, okay, I'd be really smart and say something smart. And it was the dumbest thing. I'm not sure what I said. It was like, oh, they just flew on this rocket ship away or something. And I'm like, why did I just say that? And it just kind of backed away silently, like, okay. And oh my goodness, I just remember, I'm like, why did I say that? So those were my most embarrassing moments. Honestly, I could probably go on for days, but I decided to narrow it down to a short list for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment down below some of your most embarrassing moments, because I'd love to hear them. And I'll see you next time on Grace's Room. Bye for now.